Did you know that you do still have to do PT even after your phase 2 physical when you're ETSing out of the Army? What's up? I'm US Army veteran Christopher Chaos, and today we're starting off a new series called Did You Know? It's basically just a fun fact type of video, and we're starting off with this myth that I even remember from when I was in the Army, when I was getting out of the Army, that after your phase 2 physical, nobody could make you do PT anymore because they didn't want you getting injured and messing up the whole process. For those of you that are not yet in the Army, quick little kind of explanation about this. When you're getting out of the Army, there's a lot of a process you have to go through. You have to turn items in, you have to go through different stations to check the block, and part of it is medical. There's a phase 1 physical where you get a medical screening, and then there's also a phase 2 physical, which is like the last physical that you have to get before you get out of the Army. You're doing your final physical to see what kind of things maybe you could be qualified for, as far as maybe for like VA compensation or something like that, to receive some kind of VA benefits or have something that's service connected from the VA to continue getting treatment for maybe once you get out of the Army. So the myth with that was that you're doing that phase 2 physical, and once you do that, everything is finalized, right? This is the final medical checkup to make sure that whatever things you have wrong with you, or conditions or whatever from being in the Army or being in the military, are checked off here, so that way we can compensate you properly when you get out of the Army for these kind of conditions. Well, the thing is it's not actually true. There is no actual regulation or anything anywhere that says that units are not allowed to make soldiers still do physical fitness, even hell do the physical fitness test after they've done a phase 2 physical. If a soldier was to get injured, they could still resubmit. It does make it a kind of a pain in the ass, probably, sure. But they still would go through the normal channels of going to sick call, going and seeing a doctor, or whatever the case is, and then, submitting that paperwork maybe to the VA as like, an addition to what they already submitted to, have that be evaluated, or whatever the case might be. So it does make things probably a pain in the ass, but like I said, there is no regulation that restricts you for it. Most commonly, you do still see that units will not make soldiers do PT after the phase 2 physical, but that's not necessarily because they're required to. It's just convenient, and there's no real need to do so unless maybe they just really hate that soldier or something. Because during this phase, soldiers are usually pretty close to getting out of the Army. They are going through the clearing process, they're turning in gear, they're doing all sorts of things, and most common is what you see when soldiers are at this phase in their Army career. They're showing up to formation in the morning at 6:30, and instead of doing physical fitness, they're just showing up in regular uniform, so that way they can get a start right away on starting to clear. And they're pretty much dedicated all day to clearing, maybe checking in with their leadership at the end of the day, maybe not at all, just kind of depends on probably how the leadership wants to kind of work it. There are still some units that may make soldiers still do PT in the morning, and then at 9 o'clock they can go do the clearing. So that does definitely vary from unit to unit, but the most common one I usually seen was that soldiers would show up in uniform at PT, and while the rest of us did PT, those soldiers could go and take off and start their clearing process to either PCS to another post, or maybe they were getting ready to get out of the Army. So a lot of times that's commonly why soldiers aren't doing physical fitness anymore after their phase 2 physical, is because they're too busy doing, other training. I did not do any PT pretty much during that process, so no, I didn't do any PT after my phase 2 physical, but I did think that that was a thing that was required, that they were not allowed to give you PT, but it's not a true thing. So I was just not doing PT because I was busy doing all my clearing stuff. So they left me alone, they let me do my thing, they didn't really care too much. They're like, this guy's getting out of the Army anyways, so let him do his thing and let it hopefully be a smooth process, even though it wasn't necessarily too smooth. So maybe you're a soldier out there watching this and you're getting close to your ETS date and you're like, oh man, I can't wait to that phase 2 physical and nobody can make me do PT anymore. Well, technically they can if they really wanted to, but hopefully you were a good enough soldier that they'll just leave you alone and let you do your thing. So hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you want to check out some more of the videos, I got a recommendation right here to definitely check that one out. I also have my latest video upload right there available to you. The link's down in the description. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. Thanks for hanging out. I'm Christopher Chaos, and I'll see you next time. See ya.